Hey, welcome back to the shop here at Hemmings. Today, we're working on an OBS Chevy pickup, and we're gonna be doing a manual 6-speed swap. Now, the thing is, we're not using a kit to do this. We're gonna try to sort of junkyard and swap meet our way through it. We're gonna show you how we did that, and we're gonna try to figure out if that was the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. We're gonna get in the work right now, so stick around. Our buddy Glenn is back in the shop. You've seen him on the channel before. It's his truck, and I just wanted to get a little groundwork laid here, how we got into this in the first place.
I'm a 67 to 72 guy, like through and through. Right. And I'd like to get my kids, you know, kind of keep the ball rolling. And I just can't afford to put them in that, nor should I at their age. But I had a friend from the 67 to 72 community, and he's been gathering square bodies, and now he started to bring in from down south a handful of these OBS trucks. I'll go on record, in 72 they built the perfect truck. And in 97 was the second best perfect truck ever. You know, there's no vent windows to whistle, the AC blows cold, the windows go up and down nice. You know, they've corrected the paper from the square body. 88 to 98, they, you know, dialed it in.
This one is like one of the last. It's a 97. It's a short bed, it's two-wheel drive, so it's that sport truck configuration everybody wants. Yeah. Now, the original plan that you had for this manual trans deal was the truck's for your sons, and you're thinking, I don't want my son riding a bunch of people around, so standard cab truck, and I don't want him playing with his phone, so if he's got a shifter in his hand all the time and one on the steering wheel, he'll be occupied. Am I remembering that right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna be the best parent right now, but I just figured they didn't need sensors. I wanted the kids to both learn how to drive, understand road feel. If your hand's on a shifter and your foot's on a clutch and you're going through the gears, you're gonna learn road feel. You're gonna learn a vehicle. You're gonna learn to drive.
And then you found the T-56.
Yeah, 97 Camaro, low mile, was a 21,000 mile tranny. I bought it reasonable. I mean, even the transmission length from the automatic to the T-56 was the same length.
Right.
Didn't even have to modify drive shafts or output, or the output yoke.
Yeah, and the cross member, I think we could use a GM cross member. We could use the manual OBS truck hydraulics on the firewall with the T-56 hydraulics on the transmission. So we think we have a plan for how this is all going to work out. We've actually had the transmission in the truck once already. Now we're going to run through, show you how we're doing it, and get it all back together, and hopefully be driving it at the end of the day. So this is our 6-speed transmission. It's a T-56 from back when Borg Warner used to build these. The T-56 was originally developed for the original Viper, and then General Motors had Borg Warner do a version for the new 4th gen Camaro and Firebird that came out for 1993. From 93 to 97, those cars with V8 engines used the LT1 engine, and the LT1 on the bottom end of the block was very similar to the previous traditional small block. And because of that, this 93 to 97 T-56 can be bolted up right behind a traditional small block like the one that's in this pickup truck. And that was the thing that kind of made us think, oh, we can do this reasonably easily, we think. Problem number one is that the Camaro Firebird T-56 has the shifter all the way back here. And that is a little far back to put in a pickup truck. You'd have to have bucket seats and the shifter would still be coming back a little far. Fortunately, Silver Sport Transmissions makes a shifter relocation kit, and that's what we got here. So this shifter base is installed into a spot where there was a plate, but you couldn't just put the shifter in there. So the kit includes new shift rails inside the transmission. You take out the original rails that run all the way back here, replace them with 2-piece rails that end here. They merge with this shifter. Now the shifter relocates to this spot, and that works a lot better with a bench seat and even with buckets. It just puts the shifter where it ought to be in a pickup truck. Now this handle, if it looks like a pickup truck handle, it is the 3500 transmission handle that would have come in a 5-speed OBS. The base is made for the T-56. This intermediate piece was made by Glenn and Jr., and then the shift knob is just an aftermarket 6-speed ball that's kind of unassuming. So when this is all together and you look inside the truck, it should just look like a regular stick shift OBS pickup truck. Now, the 93 to 97 T-56 does have some issues, and this is where the question of is this the right thing to do comes into play. Silver Sport Transmissions and other aftermarket transmission companies make kits to put 6 speeds into these trucks. The kit is great, and the kit would probably come with a T56 Magnum. That's a really nice version of this transmission and much stronger than the one we're using. But again, we were trying to do this on a budget. Glenn got a really good deal on this transmission, so we figured let's give it a try. So to address some of the issues with these, we went to our buddy Mark Pachowski down at Berkshire Transmission. Mark is another car guy, and he was willing to go into this thing and make a few upgrades. One of the upgrades that you'll see really needs to be made on these is the 3/4 shift fork. This is cast aluminum, and it's just not that strong. It's easy to break if you get rough with it, so we installed a steel one. That's an aftermarket piece. It's readily available. Also, these little pads here, these are plastic from the factory. It's better to use the bronze ones that the aftermarket makes. Another thing that we did on this was these transmission came with stamped steel shift keys as part of the synchronizer assemblies. The billet steel shift keys make it a lot stronger. That was another weak area in these. So we had Mark install a set of those too. While he was in there, he did new seals. The transmission only had 21,000 miles on it. So we're thinking that now it should be good. This truck's not going to be a hot rodder. It's not going to be used as a drag strip. It just is going to be a nice street cruiser. So with those upgrades and the strength of these transmissions, this should be great for what we want to do. All right, so I mentioned earlier that the transmission's already been in the truck once. We had to take it back out, so this gives us an opportunity to show you what we did here. The clutch is still in. Now the flywheel we used is just a regular Camaro Firebird flywheel. It bolts right to the back of this one-piece rear main small block that this truck came with. If you're using an earlier two-piece rear main engine, you could probably just use the earlier flywheel. It's not really a special part. What is special is the clutch. This is the 93 to 97 LT1 manual trans clutch. It's unconventional because it is a pull type clutch. I believe this one's a center force. Now, Junior, I'm forgetting. I know that the deal is that it pulls rather than pushes on the throw out, but how does the arm fit in there? What is?
Correct. Well, it's a very unique design. This is actually the mount for the slave cylinder, and I'll show you that later if you would hold that. But this is the clutch fork, and it uses this T-bolt. It goes in like that, and that actually holds the shift fork up against the transmission. So you can see that your slave cylinder is coming in here. This is bolted to the front of your transmission. So when you actually step on your clutch, it pivots that way, and it pulls the pressure plate off of the clutch disc.
Yeah, it was unusual when they came out with it for the 93 LT1 cars, and when they switched to the LS one for 98 in the Camaro Firebird, they moved away from this and went back to a push type, so I guess they weren't real happy with it. For what we're doing, it should be fine. This is, I believe, a high quality center force replacement. One other weird thing in here is this ring, which is sort of like half of a bell housing.
Correct.
The T56 is unusual in that they did an arrangement where they would use sort of a mid plate to convert from the gearbox to whatever application.
Yeah.
And I asked you earlier, can we make sure that the bell housing is centered? And you pointed out what I should have realized, which is like, no.
There is no way. Yeah. Yeah. Typically, a lot of times, especially when you're using a T56 or the T5, they use a taper bearing on the input. So it's imperative that your transmission is lined up with the motor. But the way GM designed this application, it's bolt and go. There's nothing you can do to align it.
We'll trust that they made the parts right.
Yeah.
We did have to put a pilot bushing in the back of the motor,
Correct.
right?
This was an automatic truck, yeah.
Was it a bearing or a bushing in this one?
That's a good question. It's actually been a little while.
It's one or the other.
Yes, yeah.
And it's just a factory part. It fit right in the back of the
Correct.
crank.
It actually came with the entire clutch assembly.
Okay. So we're ready to put the gearbox back in. The hole we need in the floor has already been cut. We did that before. We'll tell you more about how we did that when we get inside the truck later. So we're ready to put the gearbox back in, right?
We are.
All right, let's get it on the jack and we'll get it back up in there.
So one of the things about the pull type clutch is you need to install the clutch fork first. Because it hooks in behind, you have to install the transmission and then slide the clutch fork in. Don't forget that.
1 inch left. Yeah.
Okay, bring her back down. Good.
All right, we thought we could put the gearbox in with the shifter mechanism bolted to it. It turns out we can't. So Junior took that off, and now we're going to try again. We'll put the shifter back in through the hole in the floor once the transmission is installed.
All right, now I need to hook up the shift fork in here, and I just want to line it up with the throw-out bearing and make sure I have it in there. Oops, oops, oops. There, that's it. She's in. So it's in, it's clipped in. You just want to make sure that it's catching. A good rule of thumb is your clutch fork is going to be flush with this surface right there. And we got it, and now we can install the slave cylinder. And that goes right up there. And we got our slave cylinder. And this is a GM, what was it, Glenn?
93 to 97. Just a
93 to 97 Camaro.
It sounded very Star Wars-esque.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Push it.
There we go. Ouch. That's hard.
Are we fighting each other? I thought we were going at the same time. I'm sorry. My thumbs are amazing.
Got the best thumbs.
That's my handicap. I can pull the plastic harness clips and put them right in these two.
Okay, we just swapped out the transmission cross member. The one that was in here before is the one that came with this truck, a 97 automatic piece. We had the 6-speed in with that before. That cross member's got a little jog to it, and to get it in with the 6-speed, we had it mounted using factory holes, but a little bit slanted. This cross member is out of the 5-speed manual truck that Glenn parted out a while ago. He actually had this one powder coated, I think, a while ago. It fits perfectly. It still uses factory holes, not the same holes as the automatic, but holes that were in the frame already. And it lines right up with the 6-speed. It goes straight across. It clears the exhaust. This is the one that we should have had in here in the first place. So we're ready to move on, and I think the drive shaft will go in next.
Drive shaft is in, and the beauty of doing this conversion, it's the exact same drive shaft as the automatic. It's the exact same length, it's the exact same spline on the output, so real easy. All right, our transmission's completely in, and we didn't say earlier, but the whole reason we had to take transmission back out is we missed one critical step when we were installing the mid shift. We didn't grind down a little bit of clearance on the shift rails. That's done, transmission's in. Before I put the shifter in though, I'm gonna take advantage of this and pour the fluid in the transmission because the fill holes on the side is a little difficult. This makes life easy. All right, now we're going to put the shifter in, and then we're going to talk about what we did on the master cylinder and take it for a test ride.
All right, so Junior's got the shifter all installed and he's got the factory style boot on it. So this whole shifter assembly now looks just like a stock manual transmission OBS truck. The steering column is the same one this truck came with, and of course it would have had a column shifter on it for the automatic. All we had to do was take the plastic shrouding off, remove the column lever handle, and then install the shrouding from a manual trans truck. Again, we had a parts truck that was a manual trans, a 5-speed. So now that looks like it should for a floor shift manual trans. The gauge cluster in the car right now still has the indicator for the automatic, but we do have a cluster from the manual trans truck that we're going to put in, so that will eliminate that. And then the pedals also came from our parts truck, and there are 3 different clutch pedal sets from the 88 to 98 period. This is the last of the 3, and it's the one we needed. It bolted right in and mates right up with the factory style clutch hydraulics, which we're going to show you under the hood next. Okay, last piece of our swap puzzle here is the clutch hydraulic master cylinder. Now this is a GM part intended for an OBS truck with a manual transmission. To make a hole in the firewall you use the pedal set as a guide. So once the pedal set with the clutch pedal was bolted in, its bracket has the corresponding hole in it, and it's the right shape, and that's critical because this mounts just by being pushed and turned into place. It's a twist lock setup. There's no bolts bolting it in. So the hole has to be the right shape, but the bracket on the pedal set is kind of your guide there. And once Junior got that mounted in, he says he thinks we had to take some of these other things out of the way to get enough room to push that and turn it in. Once it's in and on the firewall, to plumb it to the Camaro slave cylinder down the transmission, we used another one of those McLeod adapter fittings that goes from the quick release with the press pin to dash 4. That fits right in the end of it. We did have to bleed the whole thing off the car. That's often a challenge with clutch master cylinders because the bleeder valves wind up in the wrong place when they're bolted on. When we put this all together and Junior took the transmission out, he taped up the slave so the bleed is still good. We're going to test it to make sure everything works, but clutch pedal and the action on the throwout arm all looks like it's working correctly, so we should be just about ready to give this thing a try. Well, that worked. I'm gonna see if it pops out of reverse. All right, well, let's take it outside and see how it does out in the parking lot.
Ready? Okay. Is the emergency brake on or anything? Been a while.
I won't show that.
Just not running the best. Holy shit, the speedometer's reading. The internet told me it doesn't work, but that custom reluctor ring took a 17 tooth and turned it into a 40, and we have a speedometer.
Oh yeah.
We've got oil pressure, battery's charging, fuel gauge is doing stuff.
How's it feel?
Feels pretty good. Got to get it lined up. Nobody pulled the check engine light bulb yet. Yeah, no, this feels good. It doesn't feel wrong, that's for sure. It doesn't look wrong. I mean, the biggest thing is they didn't want it to look like we did what we did. Just wanted it very unassuming.
the shift ball. That was like the plain Jane we could get, and we rebuilt that shifter and used the factory boot. But no, all in all, this is great. I don't want to hold a cell phone. I want to hold this. Hopefully the kids will be the same. You know, the truck does have 250,000 miles on it, which is laughable. 248.9, and it's super tight, runs good, drives good, and there's no rust. This is a 97. Like I said before, Chevy perfected the pickup in 72, and then they figured out how to make a mass quantity of a cheaper version. We'll call that the square bodies. In 88, you know, this body style came out, the GMT 400, and it had a couple of, you know, revisions over the years. And 95, you know, they put some creature comforts in, a nicer dash, a din and a half radio, cup holders, just was a comfortable truck. You know, all the creature comforts are in. These things are nice too. The air conditioner blows cold, the heater is hot, the windows go up and down. It's, yeah, these were good. And this is the last year before OnStar got put in, and after that, I'm good. I don't want that. So, but no, it feels all right. I lost the clutch pedal. I'm gonna limp it back. The clutch pedal is no longer hooked up. It went right to the floor. I haven't had a clutch. When I went to shift into second gear, Terry, it just went to nothing. And then I had flashbacks and thoughts of wreckers, going to get the Dodge, getting car trailers, I tried calling you. No, it's good. I just, like, you guys are like, what the f is he doing?
I thought that it didn't want to run right.
Oh no, it's running great, but there's no clutch pedal.
All right, so Glenn drove this thing a bit, seemed to enjoy it. I'm gonna give it a try and see what we have here. This is not the first time that I've tried to move the truck. I haven't been on the road yet, but the first time I tried, we had some issues with the clutch pedal and also with the shifter. I think we've got those straightened out. The shifter definitely feels better. There was a seal in the shifter itself, a rubber seal that was kind of holding up the action on the mechanism. So we took it out, and now it feels much better. And we also had to put a positive stop on the clutch pedal, which Junior did. That seems to be working. Flow masters are chugging. So I've been running this thing around the back roads for a while, and the more I drive it, the more I like it. Even with the gear that feels a little too tall in the back, it's fun. It feels good. It's starting to smooth out. The idle and everything is finding its place, which is pretty good because remember, the computer still thinks there's an automatic transmission in this truck. But out here on the back roads, shifting through the gears, kind of running it up and down, this truck rumbles pretty good because it's got a Flowmaster exhaust system on it. It's kind of fun. This would be a great everyday run-around truck, parts chaser, swap meet hauler. You know, I'm enjoying this enough that it's actually got me to start thinking what I need to do to get this truck away from Glenn. And then I remembered that it's for Jack, his son, and I should probably not go down that road. I might have to build another one. Speaking of Glenn, we're heading up to his place right now because we're going to drop this truck off with him. He's been waiting a long time for us to get it back together, and I think Junior's got it in good shape. Everything's feeling pretty good. There's a little stuff that has to be done, but we'll let Glenn take care of that. He's good at dealing with the details. So we'll get it up there and hand it off, and we'll get on to the next project.
Amazing.
I've been all the way up into 6th gear with it.
Awesome.
So there you have it. It's a T56 6-speed OBS truck, and it works. Proof of concept.
Awesome.
I know you got to drive it the other day, and it seemed like you were enjoying it.
There was a big dumb grin. Yeah. Couldn't
It's,
hide it.
I kind of agree with you. It needs more gear pretty bad. I thought these things had 342s, and maybe they do, but if they do, it needs 73s or 410s.
Yeah.
You know, it looks cool. People are actually checking it out. You don't see OBSs that often around here anymore. And
Yeah.
not short beds, certainly.
No, everyone's distracted right now with square bodies, so
Yeah.
we're just going to get ahead of the curve.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it works. It's got some bugs you're gonna have to work out. The clutch pedal thing that we had trouble with, Junior figured out a way to put a stop on it.
Cool.
So it doesn't overextend now, and the clutch linkage is positively fastened to the pedal arm. So that's all good. The gas gauge is working, the speedo is working, but it might need to be some reprogramming there. So there's bugs to work out. But I think it's time. This thing runs and drives again, so I am gonna do the official handoff. This is your truck again. I know you've been waiting a long time to get it back.
Yeah, no, excited. It'll be worth the wait. I think Jack, the 15-year-old, is more excited than any of us. He can't wait to get in it and start grabbing gears, so.
All right, well, tell them to take it easy on the whole shots, so.
Will do.
All right, that's it. This truck runs and drives. We're giving it back to Glenn, and it's time for us to move on to the next projects. Make sure you keep an eye on the Hemmings YouTube channel, see what Junior and I are working on next. And as always, watch the Hemmings socials in the meantime. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you in the next one. I don't know what that noise is either.
Junior said it's normal. I think because he wants to get it out.
What's that weird whining noise? Oh, that's normal. Never heard it before. That's normal. Get this thing out of here.